Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today we've got a gun gripe episode for you, and we have got the awesome Big John.
How you doing?
He's hanging out with us here today, and we're going to be just talking, sort of just having a little fun and talking kind of about the old days, like how we got started, and maybe, the effect that YouTube channels have had on on the gun world and on the social media world, and just, we've been at this a long time, man.
Yeah, we have, and it's great that there's so many new gun channels now, and it's awesome, but it's definitely reminded me how few there were in the early days, you know, and I think there's a special connection that like we have, and we have with some of the other gun channels that were around in the early days before even gun channels were really a thing, or there was any idea of doing something like this full time. It was just a totally different environment, mindset.
I agree. I mean, I think that back then, and even now, we were commenting about this earlier, that, back then it was like, all right, well, what do you want to do? Well, we're going out to the range. Well, let's bring the camera. All right, well, what are we doing? I don't know. Let's make a video.
Right.
Well, what are we going to do? Well, let's post it on YouTube. And it was just this unknown thing. And none of us ever got into this for the intention of doing anything other than just putting out content.
Right.
And then it sort of spirals and becomes this big thing where, then you're well known, and then it's like, oh, well, people are holding your feet to the fire. When are you going to put out more content? And they're pressuring for you for videos. And then it becomes, all right, well, what used to be a hobby, now it's like we're doing it all the time.
Right.
All the time. And that's what happened with you and your dad, right?
Right, yeah. It becomes a commitment. It was just for fun. And then all of a sudden, it was like you said, people were like, "Okay, when's the next one? What are you guys gonna do? You should do this. You should do that. You should do this." And then also the thing that kind of was fun about YouTube at the very beginning, I have to say, is still my favorite part. Just the idea of you think of something in your head, and then you just create something that's something that you're interested in, and putting it on the internet and seeing what people think about it, reading the comments. I don't know why, but it's addictive. It's fun.
I love it.
I'm always excited to put out a new video. What are they going to think about this one? It's not like, I want people to like me. It's just, I want to create this thing and just see what people think about it.
That's a really good point. I don't think that any of us ever had any sort of like preconceived notations about, what we did with this sort of thing. I think it was exactly like that. Hey, I'm going to document what I'm already doing. I'm going to put it on the internet, and I'm going to see what people say. And if they like it, cool. If not, well, then maybe that's some way that I can improve, or I can go back and do something better. I mean, that's ultimately the beauty of YouTube, is the fact that we're all peers here. You know what I mean? Like, we're just regular dudes. We're just really well-known regular dudes. And like your dad, can't go anywhere. Well, for one, Greg can't go anywhere without being seen, period.
Right, yeah.
Because, y'all kind of got that height thing down. All you have to do is just like, where's Hickok? Oh, there he is. Like, yeah, just look for the guys just popping out of the top of the crowd, and there you go. Like, there's Big John, there's Hickok. Like, it's not hard to find y'all at like SHOT Show or NRA.
And like when I was a kid at gun shows and stuff, I could always know I could stray away from Dad, and look at stuff because of like, oh no, I need to find Dad. There he is, Let's go and find him. I just find the Glocks, and that's where he would be.
Oh, okay, yeah. Man, I tell you, that's probably some of the earliest videos of let's just say, for instance, Hickok 45 here. All right, I mean, that's some of the earliest videos of y'all's collectively, but, you and your dad that I like so much is his Glock videos. Like, him just going like, we're just kind of boom, 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 and like shooting the barrels, and that's just, and rapid firing on the gongs, and just out having fun with guns. And
stuff that we do anyways, like you were saying. I mean, it's really like, just like with you and Chad and you and Barry in the early days, like you guys probably hung around and talked about guns all the time, and then you also shot guns together. The difference is on YouTube, you just sort of put the two together, where normally you may not talk about guns as much while you're actually shooting them, that you just combine the two and film it, and then there it is.
I think that's a very strong synopsis of how we operate. I mean, we've always just kind of put it out there. We go out there. Sometimes we have, excuse me, a little bit of a plan. Some videos, I mean, like, obviously, you look at an ammo test where we're shooting windshields and ballistics gel. I mean, that's taking it to maybe a little bit different of a level. But the core principles behind what we do, what we've always done, and what we will always continue to do is exactly what John is talking about, is we just get out there and we're just documenting things that we think are fun and something we think you people will enjoy. And that's important to us. And I know it is to you guys, too.
Right. And then, of course, people are watching, so you're kind of kicking up and out. Like, shooting a windshield. You might just be like, hey, but let's go with your buddies on the weekend and shoot a windshield, but you definitely invest more time into it and all that kind of stuff, and that You're going to be held very accountable for the things that you say, and you want to make sure that you can do the best job of saying accurate information and
got that right.
and things like that. Because if you say something wrong on the internet, you will hear about it.
Oh yeah. Even if you say something right, you may hear it, and
yeah.
that's part of it too. So let's dive into that concept a little bit. I mean, so we talked about sort of like how we both got started. I know we're kind of the grandpas in the room technically. I mean, when it comes to YouTube, like literally, Hickok and and a lot of these other channels, we sort of just really paved. I don't want to say it like it's this glorifying thing, but we kind of paved the way, and we've sort of defined it in a way. So how do you think that people look at social media, and I hate that word so much. I can't stand the word social media.
I know it really does have a negative.
I'm not media. I'm not the news. I'm not But how do you this whole social sphere that we all live in? We're always constantly stuck in our phones, wondering what people are doing on Facebook, what our friends are doing, what our favorite YouTube channel is posting. So how do you think things are now when it comes to how our place in that sphere exists? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, how we've affected that sphere.
In the sense of just like American culture in general. With guns
culture, and then also the people that follow our group real closely.
Well, I would say with gun culture, definitely it's exposed people to stuff they normally would have never been exposed to. For sure, because like we were talking about this earlier with suppressors. A lot of people, until people started posting videos on the internet of shooting suppressors, a lot of people didn't even know you could buy them. Still, people don't know you can buy them, but especially before YouTube, most people didn't have a clue about that. So things like that, where people who have been into guns a lot are basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a lot more informed gun owners out there because of YouTube. That's
a very, very good point. I think that education is a really, really big part of it, and I can't tell you how many times that I've considered purchasing a given firearm or trying to solidify a decision I already made. And I can't tell you how many times I've looked up Tim at Military Arms Channel or Hickok 45 or any of these other great YouTube channels and thought, hey, I'm going to see what they have to say, even though I have an opinion and I feel like I'm pretty well informed about guns. I kind of know what I like. But even though I know, it's still nice to kind of know what other people's opinions are. So that's the way really to treat gun channels is like, if you are thinking about a given type of subject matter, go and absorb all the content, because ultimately, opinions are great, to garner opinions from people that you can trust. And that is where I think this whole thing has really come into play, is that people know that they can trust us and that we're humble, good people.
Right. And because our reputation is right there in front of your face.
It is.
That's the thing, especially when you've been on YouTube a long time. Your credentials become, maybe they're important. You start out with a certain amount of credentials, you're into shooting for a long time before you started doing YouTube, but we've been doing it a long time. It's like they've seen you shoot all these different guns. So if you say, I like this gun, well, they know, well, he shot almost every handgun out there, so his opinion is worth at least something, Well,
recently, we did a video on that Rex Zero pistol, whatever, and we didn't have exactly super positive things to say about the handgun, and a lot of people gave us some serious grief about it, like, well, everybody else likes it, well, why don't you? Right. Well, look, I mean, that's exactly the point that I've tried to make to people is, we sometimes are a little bit jaded in what we do because we get to shoot so many different guns and we deal with so many different firearms that, it allows me to kind of go, all right, we're floating down CZ River, all right, when it comes to CZ handguns. It's like, all right, well, I've really, I love CZs. So it's like, sometimes it's hard to go, all right, well, it's not a CZ, but I have to think, all right, is it something that someone's going to like? I have to look at it and just clear the water and think about it objectively from the perspective of, hey, I'm just trying to be fair here. And I was fair, and it wasn't something I necessarily liked, and sometimes that happens. Yeah,
and I think that's the beauty of YouTube, and I think it also holds the firearms manufacturers more accountable in a really good way. I mean, think about pre-YouTube, the type of information that was available to you if you were trying to decide if you wanted a gun or not.
Yeah.
A magazine, a gun magazine.
Yeah.
I mean,
come
on.
Bought and paid for article.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, look at this new gun. We read the article, and then it's like Smith & Wesson ad, right after it, and that's the gun you were thinking about getting. So you can't really trust that. You'd have to know somebody that had one, that you could try or something like that. And there weren't even rental guns wasn't even a thing really in gun shops back in the day. I mean, that's been a big change in the past 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, so if you don't know somebody that's bought one, I mean, how are you supposed to develop an opinion? It's like, well, am I going to take a risk and buy it and then not be happy? I mean,
right.
So yeah, that's a big consideration.
Yeah, and manufacturers, in those times, I feel like could get by with a little bit more I don't know, sloppy marketing, and stuff to try to get you to like, look at this gun, it's cool, But nowadays they got to put out good stuff, or if it's not good, people are going to find out about it.
That's right. That's right.
People like us are going to, try to shoot it and it's going to break, or problems are going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's just sometimes that's how it goes. I mean, that's just how it is. But yeah, I really wanted to just take a moment to get away. I mean, I know like right now there's been a lot of subject matters floating around that we have in our minds, and lots of things going on, like, the recent sort of debacle that some of us have kind of taken like stance over, the NRA, so to speak, or just things going on, the GOA, NRA, gun rights, the whole, table as it stands that we sit at. Related to our rights, and I know that sometimes those conversations, believe me, they're very important, and we always continue to make those conversations and to put that content out there for you guys. But I wanted this video to be lighthearted and for us to just talk about where we've been, where we think we're at, and where we're going. So let's talk about where we're going. I mean, what do you think the future is going to hold for us?
For gun channels?
Gun channels, but really not even just gun channels in general, but like you as a channel and me as a channel. Like what's the future holding for you? What do you have planned?
Well, it's hard to say in a lot of ways because, I've been so happy with the way that we're doing things on Hickok 45. So it's just kind of a matter of taking what we're already doing and then just trying to do it better, just increase it, do more guns, more cool stuff, and, keep doing what we're doing. We're not like, trying to get a TV show or anything like that. We like being on YouTube or at least on the internet. I like YouTube. I would like to like YouTube, but as we know, there's been some issues with YouTube and everything. But I don't know. I mean, what about you? I mean, I feel pretty confident with just kind of staying the course.
Yeah, I think that the way that we have tried to approach things a little bit, I know that the way we make our videos is drastically different than y'all. There's a certain respect that I have for the way that Hickok and his crew, well, basically you and your dad, film things.
No, we have a huge crew.
Yeah, huge crew of Big John. That's it.
Well, but, we are huge.
Yeah, I mean, well, yes, you are huge. But the thing is the way that they do things has a certain magic to it. And I think that our big thing is like, we've always tried to have a little bit of production quality and just trying to do a little bit here and there, maybe some extra B-roll, things like that. I think for the future for us, I think we are going to look at investing in a better slow-mo camera. I know that's something that the camera I've been looking at is like a $17,000 camera.
Yeah, it's good, expensive.
That's a little bit of money there. So like other than production quality, in terms of like just the content itself, I mean, I really like the way we've been doing it. You just take guns out, have fun, pose questions. 5 guns are always fun. Firearms facts and gripes are always fun. Videos like this are fun that get people kind of thinking and talking. So I think that it's been great, and I've really enjoyed it. I've made some great friends in this whole process. We've met some really cool people. We've got to see a lot of cool product, and that life experience can't be replaced by anything, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's been a lot of fun, and sometimes I wake up and I look back on it and think, man, I've been doing this almost 10 years.
Yeah, I know. I have to pinch myself
almost
sometimes.
Almost 10 years.
It's hard to imagine sometimes. And what's weird, too, is everything on these days with technology and social media and all that kind of stuff, it moves so fast. So 10 years on YouTube is like a big deal.
Century.
Yeah, it's almost like, we're like making movies in the 4K era, but we started in like the black and white, no sound
Steamboat
era.
Willie.
Yeah, really. You go back and you go back and watch the first Iraq Veteran 88 videos and our videos, and it's like we were both using those pocket digital cameras, and
hey, all right, well, sorry, I can't get this to focus, but all right, bye, and that was about the end of it,
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's crazy just how much all that has changed, and it's been an amazing ride of just, fighting to be recognized by the industry, and then being to the point where it's almost like recognized too much, you know what I mean, by the industry, where they want to take advantage of gun channels. And it's really weird how we fought for that and then it sort of flipped on us, So
for people on here that may not know, tell them about the Hickok and Son channel, because that's a separate thing. So there's Hickok 45, which I don't have to, mention them. I know, you know who Hickok 45 is. But tell them about the Hickok 45 and Son.
So the Hickok 45 and Son channel is a channel that I started. So a little brief backstory. We were talking about this earlier. So, Dad, ever since we started doing the videos, he always wanted to get me in the videos. And I probably made a mistake by not doing it. but I just didn't feel like I'd be good at it, which may be true. And I didn't really have an interest in doing it, and for a long time. And eventually I kind of realized that, like, hey, we've been doing this a long time. I kind of like to do this my whole life. And one day I'm going to need to, have a bigger role in front of the camera if that's going to happen. So I decided, okay, I'll start a secondary channel, start with like a podcast, and kind of start easing my way into videos and stuff. And that's basically what that channel is. And I just sort of experimented with, I don't know, different series and different things, and do gun videos and different things like that. Just kind of play around, have fun with it.
Well, you got a great teacher in terms of
yeah.
Your dad is definitely a guy to aspire to in terms of his prowess behind a dang gun. He's a great shooter.
Yeah, definitely. He's done competition for years and all that kind of stuff. And I've never done any competition shooting, but I grew up the main compound range. I literally grew up right there and have been shooting on that range my whole life. So, I can't shoot like my dad, but one day I'll get there.
That's right. Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. But guys, make sure you subscribe to Big John's channel, Hickok 45 and Son. And look, I know a lot of you guys are subscribed to Hickok 45, but go over there and subscribe to old Hickok 45. It's all right, veteran here, and this has been a gun gripe today. We're just going to take this little gun here and just ding, 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 ding. All right, that was cool. Anyway, it's always a blast to have John down and also Greg when he's down. Maybe we'll get some videos going.
Oh yeah,
at some point.
That has to happen. Together. It's crazy that it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I get it. Life happens, and you get like this sort of like regimented sort of thing that you're doing, and you're used to it. Right. And I get that. It's hard to want to disrupt that flow. But when you know what you're used to, I completely understand, maintaining the integrity of your workflow. Right. But if you guys ever want to, I don't know, maybe y'all can come down and shoot some 50 cals or maybe the Canon. So that option's always open for y'all if you ever want to come down.
Yeah, appreciate that. Definitely.
Yeah. One more last thing that I want to mention. So this is just one last shameless promotion that I'll make, and I'll let you guys get back to your day. I have a guitar channel now. It is called Guitarsenal. And Big John was recently a guest on the Guitarsenal YouTube channel as well. Be sure to go over and check that out. We do everything on there from pedal reviews, amplifier reviews. We check out different unique guitars. We do lesson-oriented type stuff. And we have a little segment called Tone Talk, where we talk about things going on in the music world as well as just whatever we want to talk about. It's sort of, imagine Gun Gripes, but just really generic and or music related. So Guitarsenal is a guitar playing channel that Chad and I make, and John was recently a guest on that, so we would love for you to go over and check out Guitarsenal, our other YouTube channel. The link is in the description box below, as well as the links to Hickok 45, Hickok 45 and Son, and our t-shirt shop as well. If you want to go check out Forge from Freedom, consider picking up a shirt. I know another horribly shameless promotion, but the funds do support the channel. And also another shameless promotion, Hickok 45 now also has a Patreon page.
That's true.
So we want to mention that. So tell them about that. And what prompted you to do that real quick before we leave?
Yeah, so we have a Patreon page now, and of course, we got our first strike not too long ago on YouTube, and a lot of other people are getting strikes, and it seems like something that's going to become a problem and keep being a problem probably going forward on YouTube. So it's just another place that that we can be, and if you guys want to go over there and follow us, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys are really good dudes, and they're putting out wonderful content, and they work really hard for us. And guys, I know I can speak for myself. I'm sure I can speak for John too. All of y'all that support us through, especially us in particular, through programs like Man Cans, things like T-shirt sales, as well as donating $1 or $2 on Patreon. Guys, all of those funds are greatly appreciated. And look, it's not just gun channels. If you have a favorite cooking channel or a dog channel or any channel that you watch and you regularly consume their content and you love their content, guys, pony up $1 and help out your content creators. It's not just gun people. This whole thing has been hitting all of us. Yep. So keep that in mind. I mean, I follow a couple of gaming channels, and one of the channels that I follow, I support them on Patreon because, look, I consume this guy's time. When I'm watching his channel, I mean, he's taking time out of his day to make those videos to entertain me. So it's like, yeah, I totally see the value in helping out my fellow creators because I know it takes time and effort to produce this content. I mean, right. So, it's a measure of time.
And one thing, I know we're about to wrap up, but one thing I think some people maybe don't realize is when you get to a certain level on YouTube, you sort of have to do it full time to be able to crank out a certain amount of videos. And it's a real risk that you're taking. I mean, you're really just putting it all out there on the line, especially with what we're seeing, what's happening with YouTube. So, all that stuff really helps.
I mean, I don't want to talk about anybody's business that's not here that can't speak for themselves, but one of our other tall friends, I mean, think about his situation. I mean, he quit a long-standing full-time job to stop and do YouTube. And it's a full-time thing for him because he saw that people really loved it and wanted to be a part of it, and he wanted to be able to put that content out for people on a regular basis. So, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Big John, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Next time I have to get some phone books to stand up on so I'm a little bit taller there, so that it's not looking like Mutt and Jeff over here.
Let's do Chad's suggestion. I'll stand in a hole.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we can dig a hole next time. But guys, thanks for watching today's video. We had so much fun having a chat here today. Stay tuned for much more. Make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you subscribe to all the other channels we mentioned, as well as Guitar Arsenal. And guys, have yourselves a good day. We'll see you next time.